Welcome back, friends, to another reading for the collective. My name's Ross, your favorite spiritual strategist and modern mystic here on the YouTube. And I post these readings for the collective every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you found yourself here, hello. If you're returning, welcome back. And if you're new here, then there must be something in these cards that is meant for you. And what we like to do here is focus on something that you need insight into or guidance in or just some clarity around, and we will see what the cards have to say. I don't predict, I don't presume to know the future or anything like that. These are offered as alternatives or just different ways of seeing things. And if there is something that you're ready to see, this might be for you. So we begin, as we always do, by focusing on that issue, that question, that quandary, and we'll take 3 breaths into that, in through the nose and out through the mouth, giving a little hum or sigh with the exhale. So breathing in and out. 2 more times, breathing in and out. And last time, breathing in and out. So let's see what the cards have to say. Ooh. Got you want to come out? 10 of Swords coming out. 10s are all about completions, and the swords represent the air element. They can relate to thinking, and in this case, overthinking, certainly. And maybe you've been overthinking a lot of things, and maybe you were caught up in the news cycle or everything that's coming out about how the society that we participate in has been organized by a select few. And it's a lot. I mean, since Sunday, for the last 4 days, I've been feeling pretty much like this. And maybe you have too. And if so, I'm sorry that you've been feeling that way. If I could make some offering or help you see it in a different way, let's take a look at the 10 of Swords. If you'll look at all of those swords, and it is a lot, they don't go all the way through this character on the floor, on the ground. And there isn't really any blood here. This is a red fabric. So despite having these 10 swords in this character's back, there's no real bloodshed. And if we look beyond the character to the sky behind him or beyond him, or them, yes, there is darkness, there are the clouds, but then there's this golden ray and blue skies return. So this is the confirmation that despite all of the stuff, to say it kindly, that you've been dealing with, and since these are swords, it might be the stuff of your own creation, your own thoughts kind of keeping you down. Despite all of that, the clouds are lifting, the mental chaos is lessening, and there is an opportunity here to move beyond that. Like I was saying, 10s are the number of completion. So whether it's being done with thinking in a certain kind of way or just kind of reaching that, the metaphor that's coming up is reaching a brick wall, but it's not like someone else is putting that wall in front of you. It's the idea that, okay, I'm done overthinking this. I'm done ruminating. I'm choosing to take these swords out of my back and start living in the present. So yes, it looks disturbing, but I think it's a good card. A great start. Whoa. Ace of Cups. This is the divine blessing, the disembodied hand appearing from the clouds, and maybe it is coming from these dark clouds. We could even see it kind of like that as the offering coming from the offering coming from you choosing to silence the mind, end the mental chatter, and instead drop into your body. If swords represent the mind and thinking, cups represent water and the emotions. And this is a cup that is overflowing. And I think I was talking about this in the last reading, but the idea of pouring from a place of overflow, giving from a place of overabundance. So you don't have to worry about, oh, do I have enough to give out? You're well resourced enough now to give of yourself, whether that be your emotions, your presence, or your actual material, tangible expressions here. We're moving in a good direction. Yeah, that situation has been reversed. Five of Pentacles. This is the idea of we've got these two beggars who, whether by their own design or by the designs of society, have found themselves outside of those places that can help them. They're outside of a church, and even though the stained glass is lit from the inside, they are outside in the cold, in the snow. And here, if you've been in part of definitely southwestern Pennsylvania, but a good part of the continental United States, it's been this snowy kind of season. It seems like since the beginning of February, probably even more toward the end of January. Time's a really weird thing now, folks. But it seems like we've been in the snow, in the cold, and here yesterday it was almost 50, and it felt like that promise of a new beginning. We're halfway through the winter. We just had Imbolc and Groundhog's Day, which was my birthday. So there is that promise of rebirth happening underneath. And with this coming up reversed, it's that idea that the doors are being opened, that you're being welcomed back. And maybe it is the idea of feeling safe enough in your body, in your emotions, to bring your awareness there, your thoughts to those spaces and places where they may have been cast out. You're doing well. I'm proud of you. Yeah. And this is correct thought. It's pointing straight up. It's cutting through this crown, which we could see as the representation of society and societal norms. This is the thought of God, big T thought, the thoughts that you share with your creator. And when your mind is aligned with the mind of God, source, the universe, the higher power of your understanding, then all these other little thoughts, the tiny mad ideas that come from the ego, they just kind of fall away. Hmm. So what is this in relation to specifically? I see we got a lot of thoughts, but what else? What else can you tell us about these? And while I'm shuffling, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the likes and the shares. And thank you for the donations. They really help keep this channel going. And I post these every Tuesday and Thursday for the collective. And did you want to come out? Anything else? Woohoo! Okay. Talk about that abundance. There we go. Okay, so maybe this is more of a zoomed out kind of perspective, broad strokes, and this will be more specific. Yeah, that mental anguish has been a lot, hasn't it? been keeping you up at night. And the invitation here just turned to 10 as I was saying that. Yeah, this is the stuff that you have been ruminating on. And for me personally, these last couple days, it's definitely been that for me, coming up into a really forceful connection or confrontation with the thoughts that I keep having over and over and over again. And there's that statistic that says something like we spend most of our days thinking about the same things we thought about yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that, all this rumination. But if we are able to step outside of that, if we're able to look at this card as a suggestion of how to be, yes, this character is unable to sleep because of all these thoughts literally looming over her head. But if we look at the blanket that she is covering herself with, it's got these roses and it's got these signs of the zodiac in it. So she's literally got the heavens and the earth to cover herself with, to hold her and keep her safe and secured. Kind of like we've got this hand of the Ace of Cups coming out here, supporting, offering, ready. Yeah, all those thoughts. I mean, this is pretty clearly those thoughts are going to keep falling away. Seven of Swords upright. This is the idea of carrying too much when it's upright like this. However, when it is reversed, that those what you're carrying just kind of falls out. Even the stuff that you left behind just falls out. So this is being okay with letting go, or the invitation we could say is being okay with letting go of what's ready to go. Because when you start thinking with the mind of God, or when you start aligning your thoughts with the thoughts of your creator, then the thoughts about the ego or the ideas about yourself that you once held, those don't really belong anymore. One, two, three, four, as I'm saying that, things are lining up. And it's this idea of aligning and realigning your thoughts, your behaviors, your beliefs with the thoughts of your creator. Yeah. Hermit in reversed. When it's upright, this is the idea of going within and doing that inner work, that shadow work, which collectively, whew, there's a lot that we need to be working on. And offering the light that you find as you're doing that work to other folks who are traveling. But with this kind of reversed, it's less about going within and more about, all right, I've got these new thoughts, I've got these new behaviors that are developing from those thoughts. Let me come down off of the mountain and offer those out into the world to my fellow man. Action. Knights are all about action, and the swords, there can be that idea of almost too much action. I know I've talked about this before, but this horse is charging, this horse and this knight are charging into the wind, and the horse is looking like, bro, can you not slow your roll here? So, with this coming at the end here, right underneath the Ace of Swords, it's the excuse me. It's that invitation to, yes, feel free to charge ahead, but make sure that you're aligning those thoughts and therefore those actions with the thought of your creator. Let's see what Hafiz has to say to wrap this all up. So, Hafiz, what wisdom do you have to give us What's a way that we can look at this that maybe we haven't before? Or is there something that I missed that you can offer us? What is it? Ooh, what do we have here? What do the folks at home need to hear as they're listening to this, as they're going about their day, as they're doing their things? What do we need to tell them? Thought it was going to be you. What's it going to be, Hafiz? What do you want to say? What do you want to say? And if you are looking to connect with your divine thoughts more often, I will be hosting a online Reiki experience on March 3rd. I will link that below. It is a portal to divinity 3-3, and we'll go through a nice guided visualization where you're invited to connect with your divine source, however you define them. 16, create. Beautiful card. 16 might be relevant. 1612 as I'm looking at this. 16 reduces to 7. 7 of Swords. Okay. Create. It can be a wonderful joy creating. A synergy is there. The sweet centering grit of purpose can move through your veins and make you glad to be alive. Now is the time to seek the nourishment of creation. The ecstasies and agonies of life are listless things until they flow through you, all chemically changing from experience to art during the act of creating. You are an artist, and life is your canvas. So whether you choose to create a sculpture, a poem, a dance, a new thought, a fresh belief, or a unique perspective, you have the power to change the world inside and around you through your unique creations. You have the power to change the world by changing your thoughts. Our thoughts create our reality. And if we are thinking, here's an easy example, if we're thinking that we are abundant, then we will start to see all of those examples of how we are abundant. It might not always be related to wealth, certainly not, because there are other ways of abundance, or other ways to be abundant, I should say. Hmm. And what would it be like if you believed the thoughts that you are an infinite creator, that you are part of the grand mind of all things? What would it be like to believe that? What if you have gone to the very center of your soul and found that loving embrace, and now you're choosing to travel down off the mountain, releasing all the egoic thoughts and charging headfirst into what you want to create, knowing that you are aligned with your creator? That's a question to ponder as you go about your days. Feel free to sound off in the comments below, and thank you again for tuning in. Like I said, I post these every Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscriptions and the shares and the donations. They really help. And I wish you nothing but peace, love, and happiness from this day forward until we meet again. Take care.